From pro-lifers getting arrested for merely protesting, to Trump calling Election Day 2024 Christian Visibility Day, this race is heating up for the better. Also in the news, we have an earthquake in Taiwan that leaves 7 killed and hundreds hurt. We have a jam-packed show, so without further ado, let's begin.
Facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past.
Digging right in, we actually have a Daily Wire article. We have 4 protesters that are actually protesting for pro-life action in Nashville were actually convicted on Tuesday of the FACE Act violations after they were charged by the Biden administration over a peaceful protest at a Tennessee abortion facility. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that so many people are targeted, like Christian churches and Christian organizations and all of these things on the right that are grounded in God and Catholic faith. All of these churches during 2020 were burned down to the floor, or not even just churches. So many things were burned down to the floor in 2020. Nobody was arrested. If there was arrests, and it was very, very small, the percentage of people that was actually arrested compared to the people that actually did the crime was a very, very small, minuscule amount. Now, if you were to compare this to the actual people that were protesting after Roe v. Wade was actually overturned, you will see that the FACE Act, quote unquote, which actually is supposed to protect churches, synagogues, stuff like that, is actually, they're not using it to protect those things. And why is this? It's because of the fact that the left has its own politique and its own religion, and that's called leftist ideology. The leftist ideology is an indoctrination that they believe in, and that it's actually a replacement for God and religion. It's the government. It's Daddy government is going to cover everything. Daddy government is always going to cover my bills. Daddy government is always going to protect me and make me feel special. That's what Daddy government's going to do for these people. And that's their religion. Now, when you look at the right, they have actual religion, God, Christianity, Catholicism, they have Jewish faith. They have so many different religions. I'm Greek Orthodox. We have so many different religions that we can believe in. On the right, instead of Big Daddy government protecting us, quote unquote. So the reason why they believe in Big Daddy government to actually protect them is that so if the government tells you you can do something, the government can also tell you that you cannot do something. The government can and can't give you rights the same exact way. It's two-way street. They can also take rights away. But with the right, they believe in God-given rights. So the government is not going to take away what God gave you. See the difference? So the 4 found guilty, they now face years of prison time and thousands of dollars in fines upon sentencing. They are currently sent to be sentenced by July 30th. The decision came after a day bench trial, meaning that the defendant's fate was in the hands of the Middle District of Tennessee Magistrate Judge Chip Frenzy. Frenzy agreed with the Justice Department's allegations that the pro-lifers has violated the law and found them guilty. The judge deliberated for less than a half an hour immediately after the convictions. The defendants and their families went outside of the courthouse to sing and pray. See, so during this tough time, they are just back to praying. This is the most awesome thing. DOJ prosecuting attorney Amanda Kulf said that the case was about the rule of law and that the 4 had engaged in criminal activity. The rule of law. Oh, the rule of law. Are you going to prosecute anybody else? No, you're not. No, you're not going to. Oh, the rule of law. Oh, we have a high standard to obtain. We have a high standard to sustain. Oh boy, this cannot be ignored. This has to be prosecuted today. No, that's stupid. That's just stupid. This is a one-way street that the left likes to play, and it likes to just sit here and just pee on our leg and tell us that it's raining. It's not going to be a both sides thing. It's going to be a one-sided thing. That's exactly why this measure was passed in the very first place, and this was actually a deploy to actually say, oh, no, the right has some rights too in this thing. No, the right does not have any rights in this thing. The only thing that the right gets in this is prosecution and jail time. With that being said, we're going to be digging into another article. We actually have a Daily Wire article, another Daily Wire article. We have Election Day, Trump. This is according to Trump. Election Day will be Christian Visibility Day. Former President Donald Trump said during his political rally this week that Election Day will this fall will be Christian Visibility Day. Trump made his remarks during a Tuesday night rally in Wisconsin in response to President Joe Biden having proclaimed that this Easter Sunday was Transgender Visibility Day. With your support, we're going to win the Wisconsin Republican primary in a landslide that will be in a few hours, Trump told supporters. In November 5th, we're going to win this state. We're going to win the White House, and we're going to save our country. We're going to save our country, he continued. And what the hell was Biden thinking when he declared Easter Sunday to be Trans Day of Visibility? Such a total disrespect for Christians, he added. And November 5th is going to be called something else. Do you know what it's going to be called? Christian Visibility Day. When Christians turn out in numbers that nobody has ever seen before, let's call it Christian Visibility Day. All right. There's a clip here that you can watch if you would like to. Biden claimed that on Monday that he didn't declare this Easter Sunday to be Transgender Visibility Day, but that is fact-checked false, because he made a declaration, because it's not a national holiday, just like how he did for the last 3 years, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. So 4 years in a row, every single year of his presidency, he has declared this quote-unquote national holiday, but the thing is that it's not a national holiday, so he needs to make a declaration every single year. This year, he made a declaration, and Easter so happened to fall on that very same day, which means that you don't make the declaration. Well, right? Oh my God. If you do not want Easter Sunday to fall on Transgender Day of Visibility, quote unquote, then you do not make the declaration, because it's not a national holiday and you had no obligation to do so. Oh my God. It's just stupid at this point. With that being said, we're going to be digging into the headlines of the week. So digging right into the headlines of the week, we actually have a article from the Epoch Times. 7 killed, hundreds injured after a massive 7.4 earthquake shakes Taiwan, damages buildings. Taiwan's most powerful earthquake in 25 years has damaged nearly 100 buildings, trapped dozens, and killed at least 4. This is just a crazy situation. Taiwan has been shaken by its strongest earthquake in 25 years on Wednesday, causing buildings to collapse and landslides to crush highways and tunnels, resulting in at least 9 deaths and triggering tsunami warnings across the region. More than 800 were reported injured, according to the early reports. The 7.4 magnitude quake struck at 7:58 a.m. local time, about 11 miles southwest of the east coast city of Hualien, at the depth of around 21 miles, according to the United States Geographical Survey, USGS. It was also followed by a 6.5 magnitude aftershock just about 13 minutes later. That was just crazy. This earthquake actually caused damage to 97 buildings, 4 of which partially collapsed and killed at least 9 people, according to the National Fire Agency, the NFA. The agency reported that all deaths in most of the severe damaged buildings occurred in Hualien County, near the epicenter on the island's less populated east coast. Okay, so that is the light at the end of the tunnel. At least this is like bare minimum stuff here. It is the least populated. So I'm not saying that the 9 people that got killed and the hundreds of people that got injured, that's not a bad thing. It is a bad thing. At one life, one injury is too much. But at the same exact time, we have to acknowledge that if it would have hit a greater area, then there would have been more injury. And it's a very, very sad situation regardless. The number of injuries reported has grown, with at least one of the casualties being identified as a hiker. Around 131 people were trapped in buildings in Hualien when several buildings sustained heavy damage. Rescue attempts were underway throughout the day on Wednesday local time. One 5-story building collapsed on its first floor, and the rest of the structure were leaning on a 45-degree angle. Wow. Evacuations from 3 of the 4 partially collapsed buildings were successful. Emergency crews have rescued 22 people from the 9-story Uranus building, which is leaning to the right after its ground level collapsed. According to local officials, one more person was thought to remain in the building at the time of publishing. Landslides have also damaged the Sunya Highway, a major road along Taiwan's east coast at multiple points. Video footage shown at local media shows large buildings falling and severely damaging the highway and tunnels, including one that was split in half. At least 12 cars were damaged and around 9 people have been injured, according to the local news at the time. Yeah, it's just a crazy situation. Meanwhile, the capital city of Taipei, roughly 170 miles away, tiles fell from other buildings and some newer office complexes experienced structural damage. Train services were suspended across the island, which is home to 23 million people, as were subway services in Taipei. However, life in the capital quickly returned to normal, with children attending school, the morning commute proceeding without major disruptions. Really? They didn't even cancel school? There's a huge tsunami. Hundreds of people were hurt. 9 people were killed. And they're like, okay, back to school. Like, I would say, okay, at least take the day off. Like, damn, for your pain and suffering, might as well. Oh goodness, I don't get it. I see, for me, when I was in school, if there was like a couple of flurries, a couple of snow flurries, they would say, oh my god, we can't walk in this. No, school is canceled, guys. Just enjoy your day. No, not here apparently. Here they say, no, you think that you're going to get a day off? No, you actually do not get a day off. Surprisingly, you get to go to school. With that being said, we do have a couple of different things. We have something from MSNBC. So we have something from Charlie Kirk on X. We have MSNBC is panicking about Nebraska. When you look at the map, that one electoral vote really matters in the combination of other things. Then you need another state. The easiest pathway to victory has always been the Midwestern 3 states combined with Nebraska. Boom. Yeah, so they know that Nebraska is not going to be on their side because people are actually waking up to exactly the policies that they're pushing. It's sad because of the policies that they're pushing. They're pushing people so far down that they're just saying, nah, I just do not want any of this anymore. And we do have something else here. We have something from Raw Alerts on X. Breaking: police are on the scene after a male suspect went on a mass stabbing spree, injuring numerous people and resulting in multiple fatalities. Currently, numerous law enforcement and other agencies are on the scene in Rockford, Illinois' neighborhood after a male suspect went on a mass stabbing spree rampage at multiple areas, killing at least 4 people, including a mail carrier, among the victims, injuring at least 5 others, including a home invasion. Rockford police said that the suspect is in custody. There is no known motive at the time, as well as there is no threat to the public at this time. It's just crazy, because of the fact that people are just going more crazy and more crazy, and they're just losing their mind. I just don't understand why this is happening. It's the mental decline in America. With that being said, we do have a couple of different articles from the media's takes.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
If you like this channel and Arujo Studios more broadly, check out shop.arujostudios.com, and you can actually use code Dimitri for 15% off plus free shipping, because we do not want to put up with this quote-unquote Biden blue any longer. So without further ado, let's dig in. So we do have a CNN article. If you could tell, I'm trying to go by this fast, of how Trump's greatest policy triumph could derail his bid to win back the White House. Okay, so when a Democrat tells you that what you're doing is derailing and, oh, you're going to lose the election, then you might as well just keep doing exactly what you're doing, because you're making them mad. Moving with this article right here, one-term presidents who fail to win a second term are usually doomed by their failures. So it will be ironic if Donald Trump's bid is derailed by what is likely to be his most enduring policy achievement. The former president succeeded in constituting an unassailable conservative majority in the Supreme Court, which overruled the quote constitutional right to kill your baby years ago, and set off an extraordinary cascade of consequences that now threatens his 2024 campaign. Okay, so just because of the fact that you're saving hundreds of thousands of babies every single year, you will not win election. Well, this is the thing here. By every available metric at the time of recording this, Trump is going to win election. That's according to every single metric, according to every single poll that I have seen thus far. Now, this could change in a heartbeat. Just like in the summer of this year, they were saying every single available polling was saying that Ron DeSantis was going to come up on top and he was going to win election. Then all of the trials, everything else, Democrats play very dirty, and then Trump skyrocketed because of his support, and I obviously supported him too. I said, no, you know what? I don't see a way that Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley or any of Tim Scott, Vivek Ramaswamy. I couldn't see a pathway to victory for any of them. And I would say like September to October. I would say no. You know what? I'm not playing these games. We need to get behind Trump right now so we can stop playing games. That's what I said. So, of course, I already knew that this was happening. But the thing is, saving babies, if this was the one thing that was going to cause Trump the election, I would not say that this is a loss. I would say that this is a win. Saving hundreds of thousands of babies per year is worth not winning an election. That's what I think. With that being said, we do have a Daily Wire article. We have Pete Buttigieg mocks people who cannot afford or do not want electric vehicles. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, which is only there for his liking of electric vehicles and his liking of trains for some reason, mocked Americans this week who do not wish to purchase an electric vehicle, comparing them to people who thought the 2000s that would only be a landline phone. Pete Buttigieg made remarks during a Tuesday Fox News interview on America's Newsroom when asked about the strategic electric vehicle market. Tesla sales fell 8.5% in the first quarter of this year, said co-host John Roberts. Ford this week is laying off 2/3 of its workforce of the electric F-150 Lightning plant. It is also scaling back battery production facility because it's staggering sales. EV sales are nowhere near what the president wanted or expected, yet the administration continues to shove them down consumers' throats, he continued. Why? Pete Buttigieg claimed that it was clear that consumers want to purchase EVs, as he proceeded to dismiss Tesla's slowing numbers because he does not like Elon Musk. Let's be clear about the automotive sector is moving towards EVs, and we can't pretend otherwise, he claimed. Sometimes when these debates happen, I feel like it's the early 2000s, and it's talking to somebody who thinks that we can just have landline phones forever. Republican strategist Mike Whitlock responded to the segment by noting that the flaw in Pete Buttigieg's argument. This is a problem. Democrats think that EVs are to gas-powered cars what cell phones were to landlines. Whitlock posted on X. In reality, EVs are to gas-powered cars what Fury Fest was to music festival. Sounded cool, had potential, but was built on false premises and artificial market forces. Okay, so that's just like the Fire Fest. Yeah, that's the Fire Festival. Yeah, exactly. It sounded cool. No, I completely agree with that. I was going to say, whoa, I have another analogy here, but that's the exact analogy that I was going to actually make. So that's actually a really good analogy because people are saying, oh, well, the Fire Festival. It's like Coachella, too. Coachella is just overhyped. You go to Coachella, you're like, ew, it's just so sweaty. There's not a lot of bathrooms. No, you're good. You go to Coachella once, you're like, nah, I don't want to do that again. With that being said, it's just like electric cars. I actually rented a Tesla. I like the Tesla. I love Tesla. I invest in Tesla. I have stocks in Tesla. And I said, you know what? Let me just rent a Tesla just for a couple of days. Let's see how I like it. So I had the opportunity to test out a Tesla, and then we actually closed the door. The window, it was a Tesla Model 3, so the window has to come down a little bit so you can actually close the door. The window did not come down a little bit, and it smashed the window. So we ended up having to, quote unquote, pay for the window. But then when we said to the insurance company, that's not our fault, it actually malfunctioned and it glitched and it broke the window. There was actually an update available for the Tesla. So we told that to Hertz, which is a rental company we went with. And Hertz still wanted us to pay for it, even though it was their fault for not updating the Tesla. And they only gave us the Tesla on 15% battery. So it wasn't really a good experience with that. That's exactly why they're trying to sell off all the Teslas, because the Hertz, the way that they're doing it, they did not charge the Tesla. They didn't update the Tesla. They just didn't know how to work the Tesla. And then they're giving it to customers, expecting them to know how to work it, even though they're not doing the right things behind the scenes to actually make sure that it's a pleasant experience for everybody. That's not right. With that being said, we do have another Daily Wire article. We do have federal agencies made $236 billion in improper payments in fiscal 2023 GAO fines. The federal government made nearly $250 billion in improper payments in the last fiscal year, a congressional watchdog agency estimated. A Government Accountability Office GAO report unveiled last week that said that 14 agencies reported a total of $236 billion in botched payments in fiscal 2023. Here, improper payments were defined as those who should have been made or were made in an incorrect amount. A GAO said that agencies reported that $175 billion, or over 74% of the total, were attributed to overpayments. Okay, so now you're telling me that government spending has skyrocketed in 74% of the total, which was $175 billion, were made in overpayments. But then we're going to complain about aid that is about $10 billion or $100 billion. But then we have things like this and agencies like this that is overspending our money. It just does not make any sense. There's no accountability in our government, in our agencies like this that are just saying, oh, here's money, here's money, here's money. That's disgusting. Since fiscal 2023, the cumulative amount that has totaled $2.7 trillion, GAO said improper payments have consistently been an issue across the government. The $236 billion figure from fiscal 2023 is just an estimate. GAO cautioned that it does not include some programs that agencies have determined to be sustainable to mismanaged payments. GAO listed the Health and Human Services Department Temporary Assistance for Needs and Families program as an example. And its analysis found that the problematic expenditures were concentrated in five program areas, including $51.1 billion for Medicare, $50.3 billion for Medicaid. That's just $100 billion right there. Oh, let's just throw that away. There's also $43.6 billion for federal pandemic and unemployment assistance, $21.9 billion for earned income tax credit, $18.7 billion for Paycheck Protection Program loan forgiveness. All other programs of which the data accounted for was $50.1 billion in improper payments. Senator Rick Scott, Republican from Florida, commented on the top line $236 billion estimate for fiscal 2023 by taking a swipe at the Biden administration. Quote, "We need accountability here. This is your money that the Biden administration took out of your wallet and wasted," he said. I completely agree with that. GAO said that it provided a draft of its report of the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, for review and comment, but OMB did not have any comments on this report. In fiscal 2022, 14 of the 24 agencies covered by the Chief Financial Officers Act of 1990s complied with the pliable improper payment criteria as reported by the agency's Inspectors General, GAO. That number marked an increase from 2021 when GAO said Inspectors General reported 10 agencies were compliant. GAO said that it made numerous recommendations and suggestions to Congress on ways to reduce payment errors. How about hiring confident people? How about hiring people that could actually do their job correctly? Well, that's a huge one, right? It's just stupid. They're just going to waste your money, and then you're going to complain about the wasting of the money, and they're going to say, well, why are you even complaining? Like, we're going to get the money back. No, you're not going to get the money back. Stop lying to our face. Talking about lying to your face, here's an NPR article. White House hosts a soggy, education-themed Easter egg roll. This is according to NPR News. It's one of the few days a year where the executive branch becomes a child's playground. And this year, the White House Easter egg roll drew kids to the South Lawn despite some intermediate rain. Oh no, not the rain. The White House expected 40,000 people this year, which it said was a record for the tradition that goes back to 1878. This year's event marks the third time that President Biden and the First Lady Joe Biden has hosted it since it was canceled in 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Playing up this year's theme, aggregation roll. Oh my God. Means that the White House is featuring a reading nook, a station to learn about the solar eclipse, science projects, and of course, a visit from the Easter Bunny that pushed Joe Biden away last year. He's famous. President Biden praised the event early Monday on NBC's Today Show. "This is the people's house," Biden said. "So let's make our fence around the White House less today and put it back up tomorrow." The president and the first lady joined children as they hunted for and rolled eggs. All told, the event hunting, decorating, and rolling and snacking required more than 64,000 eggs. Whoa. Which farmers in Pennsylvania and North Carolina donated. According to the American Egg Board, Braswell Family Farms in North Carolina boiled and dyed more than 6,000 eggs per day for 8 days and worked with the White House to curate special shades of orange, purple, pink, and Biden blue. I can't. Oh my God. NPR, you just make me want to. Every time I read an article from NPR, it's just like, is this an official, like, what is this? Is this Karine Jean-Pierre writing for the White House on NPR News? It's just too happy. Nobody writes like this. This is the White House. This is the White House writing in NPR. It's too happy. Nobody writes like this, guys. I cannot with these NPR articles. I can't. No, Biden blue. Okay, you're done. With that being said, I'm going to end that off right here. If you like to support this channel and Arujo Studios more broadly, check out shop.arujostudios.com and you can actually use code Dimitri for 15% off plus free shipping because we do not want to put up with this quote-unquote Biden blue any longer. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening, and I hope they have a great rest of your day.